Many people still believe that bettas are impossible to keep with other fish. In fact, they are known for their territorial behavior, especially the males, but that doesn't mean they're incompatible with any other fish. The truth is that, with the right care, it is entirely possible to keep a betta in a community aquarium safely and in a balanced way. But to do this, you need to understand what really influences this coexistence: the available space, your betta's temperament, the choice of companion species, and the aquarium structure. Without considering these factors, the chances of conflict increase a lot. In this video, we're going to do a definitive compatibility test. You'll discover which species are compatible with bettas, what should be avoided, and how to create an environment where everyone can live well, without fights, stress, or unnecessary risks. If you want to set up a beautiful and harmonious aquarium with this iconic fish, stay with me. We'll start now by analyzing the first essential point: the betta's natural behavior. Betta behavior. Territoriality, but with nuances. Bettas are not naturally sociable fish, especially males. They have been selectively bred over generations to exhibit intense territorial behaviors, primarily against other betta males and fish with long, showy fins, which can be mistaken for rivals. However, this does not mean that every betta will attack any fish in the same aquarium. In well-planned community aquariums, many bettas adapt and coexist peacefully with calm species. The key is adequate space, choosing the right tank mates, and the aquarium structure, with hiding places, live plants, and visual divisions. This reduces stress and avoids territorial disputes. Another important point is individual temperament. Each betta has its own personality. Some are extremely calm, while others attack even their reflection in the glass. Therefore, any introduction of tank mates should be done with care, observation, and, if possible, phased testing. Before considering compatible species, it's essential to understand that the betta is not an instinctively villainous fish. With space, proper setup, and patience, it can indeed live in a community aquarium. And this leads us to the next point: which species work best with it? 2. Compatible species. Who gets along well with bettas? Choosing the right tank mates is the most important step in setting up a community aquarium with a betta. The main rule is simple: avoid fish with long fins, very flashy colors, or territorial behavior. Bettas are known for their intolerance of apparent rivals, so the ideal is to choose discrete species, fast enough to escape a possible attack, and peaceful enough not to provoke conflicts. Among the best candidates are corredores, small bottom-dwelling fish that live in groups and have extremely peaceful behavior. They do not compete for the same territory or for the betta's food. In addition, they also help keep the bottom clean by consuming leftover food. Ideally, they should be kept in groups of at least 4 or 5 specimens so that they feel safe and active. Another excellent option are otocinclus, small algae-eating fish that prefer to live in groups and rarely interact with bettas. Because they are shy, fast, and occupy different areas of the aquarium, they go practically unnoticed, which helps maintain peace in the environment. Ember tetras are one of the best choices among schooling fish. They are small, discreet, have soft coloring, and calm behavior. The famous neon tetras, although a little more vibrant, can also coexist with bettas. But here's a warning: only try this combination if your betta has a calmer temperament and the aquarium offers plenty of space, over 60 liters, and enough vegetation to divide visual territories. Avoid species such as guppies, platies, or swordtails, which have showy tails and more agitated behavior. Even harmless fish can trigger the betta's defense instinct if they are too flashy. Similarly, species known for their aggressiveness, such as tiger barbs, should be avoided completely. A common mistake is trying to put too many different species in the same aquarium.
This usually creates an unstable environment with more competition for space and food. When it comes to living with a beta, less is more. A small group of compatible and calm companions almost always works better than a crowded and chaotic community. In the next section, we'll talk about an often overlooked factor: the size of the aquarium and how it directly influences the beta's behavior.
3. Aquarium size and structure. Space defines peace. Many people try to set up a community aquarium with betas in small containers, thinking that their behavior will change simply because of the presence of other fish. This is a mistake. The size of the aquarium is one of the most determining factors for the success or failure of this coexistence. For any attempt at a community aquarium with a beta, the minimum recommended size is 60 liters. Less than that greatly increases the risk of stress and attacks, as the fish feels cornered and tends to defend the little space it has. In a larger environment, it can delimit its territory without necessarily coming into conflict with the other inhabitants. In addition to size, the internal structure of the aquarium makes all the difference. Natural plants, driftwood, rocks, and hiding places create visual barriers and escape points, which reduces the feeling of threat among the fish. The more compartmentalized the layout, the lower the chance of direct confrontations. Water circulation should also be smooth. Betas don't like strong currents, and some peaceful companions, such as ember tetras or corydoras, also prefer gentler flows. With the right space and environment, the beta ceases to be the villain and becomes just another resident. Beautiful, elegant, and peaceful. In the next part, we'll talk about what to observe in the first few days of cohabitation to ensure that everything is going well.
4. The first days. How to monitor coexistence. The first few days after introducing a beta to a community aquarium or other fish to the beta's aquarium are crucial. It is during this period that you will realize if coexistence has a chance of working or if there will be inevitable conflict. Pay attention to signs of stress or aggression. Torn fins, constant chasing, interrupted feeding, and fish hiding all the time are clear signs that something is wrong. Ideally, observe closely during the first 48 to 72 hours, especially during feeding times, when many conflicts tend to arise. A simple trick is to rearrange the aquarium layout before the introduction. This resets the beta's and other fish's sense of territory, reducing territorial impulses. It is also worth using a temporary acrylic divider in the first few days to observe how the beta reacts to its new companions without direct contact. Another important point: avoid overfeeding the fish during this period. Accumulated food can create dirt and increase the overall stress in the aquarium. Prefer small portions in different locations to avoid overcrowding. If everything is calm after a few days, that's a great sign, but continuous monitoring is still necessary. And of course, always have a plan B, a backup aquarium, or a container with filtration and heating in case separation is unavoidable. Now that you've seen how to test this coexistence responsibly, let's close with a summary and a final tip. Having a beta in a community aquarium is not impossible, but it's also not a decision to be made on impulse. It requires planning, knowledge, and a lot of observation. When we understand that the beta is not just a pretty fish, but an animal with its own behaviors, it becomes easier to offer a balanced environment for it and the other inhabitants of the aquarium. The first step is to respect the beta's natural territoriality, especially the males. They tend to react badly to companions with a similar appearance or invasive behavior. But that doesn't mean it will attack any fish. With careful species selection, an aquarium of at least 60 liters, a good structure with plants and hiding places, and a gradual introduction, it is indeed possible to create a peaceful coexistence. Even so, it's important to understand that each betta is unique. While some bettas coexist peacefully with neons, corydorus, or ember tetras, others do not tolerate the presence of any other fish. And that's okay. There is no one right way. The most important thing is to observe, test responsibly, and be ready to adapt when necessary. If you have a more aggressive betta, keeping it alone may be the best choice. A well-set-up individual aquarium offers quality of life, tranquility, and allows it to show all its beauty without stress. Now, tell me, have you ever tried setting up a community aquarium with bettas? Did it work, or was it a total failure? Share your experience in the comments. And if you want more practical tips on setting up aquariums, compatible species, and fish care, subscribe to the channel. Here, the focus is on helping you create a healthy and beautiful environment, without guesswork and without complications.